question is that the amendments be agreed to. I call the member for Menzies.
Well, Madam Deputy Speaker, isn't it significant that the Assistant Treasurer has actually explained on the second consequential bill in very brief detail what the amendment's about? Because this is a night in which we've had the government move significant amendments and not even have the courage to come in here to the chamber and explain what the amendments were about. This is tonight. I'll be brief. I won't hold the chamber up more than. Well, I'll keep talking for my whole 5 minutes if you like. Otherwise, right. Thank you. Madam Deputy Speaker, this is the night that the government has sold out the charitable sector in Australia. This is the night that the government has failed over week after week and month after month to explain to this chamber and to explain to the people of Australia what the great mischief is that this bill is required for. This is what it's required. And he hasn't come in here tonight, and the Leader of the Government business, the Leader of the Government says, look behind me. I'll say to the people behind me, do we reject this legislation? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Do we think that this legislation is unnecessary? Yes, we do. So look behind me, yes. Why could not the government tonight get more than 1 or 2 or 3 speakers to stand up and defend this legislation? Why they couldn't get anyone to stand up and defend this legislation? Because the reality is, when they went back to their own electorates, when they went back and consulted with the charitable sector, when they went back and asked the surf club, the sporting club, the cultural club, the service organisation, what was it that demanded this legislation? What did they get? They got a resounding silence. Why? Because this is legislation which is being foisted upon the charitable sector in Australia, which they don't want, which there's no case being made out by the hapless minister at the table, and I don't blame him because he's the third minister in line to bring this legislation forward. And the reality is that there is no support for this legislation within the charitable sector within Australia. So what we proudly say tonight, Madam Deputy Speaker, is that we stand to oppose this legislation. Yes, we've allowed the amendments to go through because what they do is that they add some slight improvements to bad legislation. But the reality is this is bad policy, this is bad law, and not only do we oppose it tonight, not only will we vote against it now, but if we get the chance to be entrusted to government in the future, we shall repeal it.